Who said you can't go home? Real Estate Exposed, brought to you by Signature Real Estate. Real Estate Exposed is all about helping homeowners and those who would like to be homeowners and those who would like to get into real estate.
Good morning, everybody. We're here live from Las Vegas for our Real Estate Exposed show. I'm Vandana Bala, and Shelly loves to watch herself, and so she's going to play the live video as we're doing this. And so with that, Shelly Panzarella, branch manager for Prosperity Lending. I'll introduce her first
because I got caught.
She got busted. Brandon Roberts is the owner and broker of Signature Real Estate Group, and I'm Vandana Bala, your corporate broker here at Signature Real Estate Group as well. And we're talking real estate today.
All things real
Just
estate.
today.
Just today,
Yep.
and maybe next Thursday.
Awesome.
And possibly, I think we talked about it last Thursday. But if
We're
you
on a
do,
roll.
I know we're on a roll. Obviously,
it
if you're
happen.
watching us live, you know where to watch us. If you aren't watching us live and you're seeing this on YouTube, you can watch us live on Thursday mornings at 9:30 a.m. on facebook.com/realestatex. That's it. That was pretty good. I got to say, my intro.
A little rough at the start, but you pulled
Yeah.
it out.
Well, because I have
Sorry
the
for
crappier
Mike.
mic. Why did I get the crappy mic
You
today?
actually have the good mic.
Oh, I just like the way the others look.
Yeah, they do look good.
These look legit.
They do.
That looks like karaoke.
Well, and here's the other thing, right? I feel like that is the legit mic, and it's not evened out. Like this should be in the middle. Those should be on the outside since we have two of them. Like I'm
So-
just a little tripped out right
so you
now.
want to know why?
It's freaking me
Yes.
out.
There's like a whole strategy behind this.
Okay.
So Beta put a lot of thought into it because I look both ways, and this mic picks me up better. And when it was cutting out a lot with that one, you talk more straight into it,
Oh.
so it works out perfect.
Got it. Beta. I like
and
the
nobody
other
can
mic
hear
anyway.
me, so they just put the best microphone on that can grab anything that comes out of this little space over here.
Oh, goodness gracious. All right. So I don't know if you can see, but we've got some champagne
What?
on the table. Yes, it's 9:30 in the morning. So clearly we're doing mimosas.
Yeah.
Why are we doing mimosas, you ask?
Because we're thirsty.
That
'Cause-
too. But because we are sitting with President Elect Mr. Brandon Roberts for the Las Vegas Association of Realtors. Yesterday was the announcement. He whooped some butt in that election. So our election is over. The rest of the world, or the rest of this country, so sorry for you. But we are super, super happy to be done with the Las Vegas Realtor election. So now we can all go back to selling real estate and doing things that are real estate related.
It was crazy how many campaign posts came through everyone's feed on Facebook
yeah.
and everything.
Trust me, I know.
Trust me, I know. No, it was cool. It was a really cool experience. Some great candidates won, and I just really want to thank everybody that reached out in the support. I got a lot of support from a lot of brokers, agents, outside of our company, in our company, and there was just an outpouring of support to really push me over the top. So it was cool, and it was cool to win by that margin. So
All right. Well, you get to open up the bottle of champagne. Do you know how?
nope.
All right. I'm going to show you. I'm going to teach you. We're going to teach Brandon how to open up a bottle of champagne. No, you're
Oh,
going to
this
do
is
it. I'm going to watch you. I'm gonna
Exciting.
walk you through it. You
he's
gotta
wearing
tear off
he's
the
wearing
top
nice
little
dress
part.
pants and everything.
I
So
know. I can't wait for
Don't
it to get
blow
all
it.
over him. Did you shake it up before you brought it in?
exposed.
I've already spilled juice on my shirt today, so this is.
I thought you were going to say something completely different. I took that way out of context. Sorry, this is real estate
And
exposed.
quite honestly, we have 4 glasses. We have 4 glasses, but there's only 3 of us. Why do we have
because
4?
beta.
Because Beta
That's right.
was the badass marketing director for this campaign. And so we've got to celebrate that.
Yes.
Because pretty sure we have a competitive marketing director that didn't do so well because our guy won, his guy didn't. So we're celebrating Beta as well.
Yes.
Beta did an awesome job.
No, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Take that off. Sorry. You do know how to do it.
Yeah, it's
Woo!
pretty
Slowly.
self-explanatory.
Fantastic. All right, I'm getting the glasses, but
Okay.
I'll talk like this. So
So we shake this up, shake this up, shake this
you
up,
gotta
shake
turn
it.
it around so that
Turn
all
it
of the
upside
stuff at the
down.
bottom gets to the top, because that's the good stuff.
So I was
There you pour 'em.
I was told to, instead of orange juice, to get guava. Why guava?
Because I love it.
Ah, okay.
And
This is
and this is about her.
this is Vandana.
Listen, You got the good champagne.
I did.
I'm really, really proud
What
of
are you talking about? The Cook's was on the top shelf, just so you know, for $13.99.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So per your instructions, I got the top shelf.
Was it top shelf like where your eyeside is, or top shelf
Yes,
where the rest
right here.
Right there.
It was
Can
in
you
the
hear
middle.
me? See, is that mic okay? Okay. I'm
Okay.
still talking into it.
So am I just doing a dollop of?
There it is. That's the way to do it. So guava juice, mango juice, or I don't know if those of you who have been to Hawaii, Pog. Pog's amazing too.
Passion orange guava.
Passion orange guava. So,
This will
congratulations.
take up at least 30 minutes of our show. What else?
Oh,
are we
we're gonna
doing?
have to cut out the stats.
No, that's
Rats.
that's the only part I talk at. Just kidding. I talk a lot more.
Stay tuned. You'll
What?
see.
Stay tuned.
Are you talking
There's
about?
so much more discussion coming up, and I'm in charge. All right, hold on. I'm just. You got to pour it sideways and slowly and all that stuff. But I wanted to do this on air because why not?
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll be celebrating in 2022 as well, right?
Thank you. Heck yeah. I think we should celebrate every Thursday with
We,
some mimosas.
we should celebrate every show with the
right? Congratulations,
Thank you.
Brandon.
Congratulations.
Beta, I'm going to come to you. Hold on.
Betamax. Cheers, salute.
Cheers. All right.
All right, now the show can begin.
Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
Well, it is good.
I love me some guava juice. Lychee juice is also really good.
Lychee.
Lychee.
I like that in my
Mango.
gosh, what are those things called? Bobas? Boba teas?
Yeah. Oh, you do lychee and boba teas?
Oh, so good.
Really?
The lychee jelly, yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. And boba. Are you watching yourself also?
No, I've got my phone in case I'm, because I'm getting a lot of text messages. Because as we are doing
kind of
the
a big
show,
deal.
no, as we're doing the show, the board of directors is meeting for the Las Vegas Association of Realtors, and it's interesting because there's a whole commentary going on outside the. No, it's with non-board members. But we're all talking about what the board members are talking about because we can, right? It's totally.
So does that mean we're going to have a little bit lower viewership today because they're paying attention to the...
possibly,
Possibly?
possibly? But here's
I don't know
here's
if
the
we
good
can
thing.
go much lower.
Stop it.
There's
both of
one,
you.
and that would be me.
There's two. I'm on
Stop
there too.
it. Oh my goodness. All right. So market listings. We've got 955 new properties that have hit the market in the last 7 days. 235 actually came back on market. And you know what's really cool? That these stats actually, not that stats are cool, but what's cool about the stats, and especially what the association provides, is that you can see if prices have decreased, if there's been price increases. Surprisingly, there's been 130 properties in the last 7 days that have increased their price. I don't know if that means that an agent screwed it up the first time around, but that's 130 screw-ups.
So just so
Or
I
an
understand that,
increase in
so
pricing.
they initially list it and then they increase it on a listing?
Yeah,
Really?
on the MLS.
That sounds like operator error, right?
You think?
I don't know. Maybe they got nervous because they got too many showings and offers off the bat, so they raised the price.
Oh, that could be a thing too.
Wouldn't there be a different strategy on that though? Like if
Just
they're
take
getting
the
a,
highest one.
yeah, I think you guys did a sales meeting on that. Paid attention on that one.
All right, and then we've got several properties under contract. 470 you can still show. 842 you cannot. So 842 plus 470. What's the math on that? 1312. You guys are brilliant. So that's how many homes have gone under
$1.31.
contract in the last 7 days.
Wait, how
which is
many?
kinda cool. 1312.
1312.
Yep. And then, quite honestly, the withdrawn properties, the ones that have been withdrawn conditionally or unconditionally, those have gone down significantly from the week before. It's only 199, which is good. Don't ask me what it was the week before. I just know that it was lower. Or it was higher last week than it is this week. And we've had 964 properties that have sold. Now, here's the money question, right? Of the solds, what was the highest priced sold
Last
property?
week.
3.5
in the
million.
last 7 days. Are you cheating?
2.7. Ah, what?
Huh?
No, I'm not cheating.
2.7.
No, 10,150,000.
What? How are we even close to
Wait a
10?
minute. I say 3.5. It's 10 million, and you think I'm cheating.
Carry the one, Brandon. Carry the one.
Well, because I didn't actually, because you looked at your computer and I'm like, oh, he's looking at it, and I hadn't pulled it yet.
So
but it is 10 million.
I wonder who bought it. I know Shaquille O'Neal just bought a house in Vegas
Say what?
Really?
to go with his chicken shop.
Chicken.
Oh yeah,
He has a chicken shop?
Yeah.
What is it
The
called?
Shake Shack.
The Shack?
No, it's chicken
Crack?
something.
Chicken Shack.
The chicken.
Chicken Shack.
The one that's on the strip? Or that's his?
No, it's him.
Wow.
So I think he's settling in business. Must be good.
Yeah,
10
a friend of mine
million.
actually is business partners with him. Clearly, I didn't get that sale, but cheers.
Cheers.
To that.
Could
Cheers.
have been a $10 million one. Who knows?
It could have been, but whatever.
And just to be clear, I don't know if that was actually his or not. But it
This
sounds
is
good.
Real Estate Exposed. Anything that goes on here is
We've now
actual,
exposed it.
actual info.
Right.
He's
I'm gonna
my
go look
neighbor.
for it now.
Well, not really.
That's not your
He's in the
neighborhood.
same
I know
Minus
where
the
you
one.
live, and that's not your neighborhood.
Not
But
even
it's
close.
a beautiful home. That $10 million home that sold.
Where is it?
One day.
What?
I've been going 215, so it's over by. I want to say it's
That's close to my house.
Promontory. Yeah, it is actually Promontory Ridge. It's at the point.
They don't let me in that gate, but
Oh, have you ever been in that gate?
No.
It's beautiful up there.
is it?
Oh yeah,
It's kind
Very,
of tucked back, right?
it is.
Yeah,
so
I've
you have to
driven
go. You have to go through a guard gate, then go through another gate, and then it's all the way in the back. It's beautiful up there. Absolutely gorgeous. The homes are stunning. The views are stunning. Just everything about it. All right. So there's that. That's what sold. What else did we have? Oh. So usually I say how many listings we currently have. Are you watching it on the computer and on your
I
phone?
have no idea what's happening right now.
My
My computer is going crazy. I was looking at Shaquille's chicken coop, and his home looked.
Shack.
It
Shack home chicken shack. Shack.
looks like it's
I like the coop.
$765. I think we're a little off on his purchase, but I can't check it out because it runs with video, and I can't find my volume for my.
There's a volume button.
Yeah, Janet would be really disappointed in me because I got my phone
Janet
going
would be
on,
disappointed in all of us. Our phones are out. Our computers are out.
and we're drinking, and we didn't offer anything.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Back to you.
7,054 listings are currently on the market today. 7,054. So usually the way that we look at listings in comparison to like the year before, we talk about currently if this many homes sold, this is what the inventory looks like. How and we've been seeing, and this would be a great thing for Valerie to talk about because she does market reports for us every month. I mean, we get them online as well, but every month we look at market reports to see how much inventory we have. So if we were to sell every single home that was on the market today based off of the current sales that are happening in our marketplace, we'd see anywhere from like 3 to 4 weeks. There was a moment that it was from 2 to 3 weeks, right? 15 days, 16 days is what we were seeing. So
Of what we had of inventory
of
to
what
sell
we have
out.
in inventory, yeah. And I have a friend of mine who's actually looking to sell her home, and she's been asking me, is it a good time to sell? And she's got some equity in the house, like a little over $150,000, which is, I mean, amazing considering that it was originally a $200,000 house. It's worth a little bit more. It's just, so she's like, do I sell it now? Right? And I think that seems to be a lot of people's questions. Do I sell it now or do I wait? Because we may get an influx of inventory. This is actually a really healthy market for sellers, right? Where they will get more, especially if they have some equity. And we talked about it in our previous shows many times. Do we advise clients to sell? Do we advise them to wait? What is the market going to look like? I mean, crystal ball wise, none of us know. And if a real estate agent says they know, well, they don't know, right? It's impossible to know this shit, to be honest with you. Do you agree?
I feel like we were saying this last year, though, too, right? There was a moment in time where, like, wow, we are just seeing a huge appreciation in a short period of time. This is the time to sell. Because I know for myself personally, I was like, do we jump now? Do we do this now? And then, but the hard part for me was, what do I buy?
Yeah.
Right? Like, what do you go from
Well,
here to
low
there to
interest
buy?
rates, you can just buy,
Now
a
it's-
little bit more than you normally would.
Right. Yeah.
We're
Right.
just giving houses away.
blank applications and contracts.
So I had a conversation on this just last week with somebody that was potentially thinking about selling, and
it was us. We were here.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Actually, I had it with you too, but no. Never mind.
No, please.
No, but interesting. It's like, well, what do we do? And so I think you really have to go back to what your goal is. I mean, if you're selling because you're going to go rent, I don't know if that's the best scenario for you to liquidate your property now. If you're selling to upsize, or maybe now's a good time to do it. If you want to liquidate some investment property, maybe now would be a good time to do it. But if it's just your primary residence, I don't know why you'd want to sell it and enter into this market.
Well, because of the equity that's currently available,
But
right?
You
And I think that's
roll it into somewhere else you're going to live, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, if you end up buying, because you're selling high, you're buying high, right? I mean,
so
ultimately,
if you actually want to pull equity out, now would be the time to do a cash out refi.
For sure.
But here's the thing:
I know a good lender too if you want.
But here's the thing: let's also think about this, right? Is that if you are buying high, technically you're buying at a lower interest rate, so it wouldn't affect you. You can get way more house for possibly the same amount of money.
Yes.
So like I had this discussion with hers, and she's like, "Well, if I rent, then I'm just wasting my money and paying someone else's mortgage." I'm like, "You're right. You are going to end up paying someone else's mortgage because she doesn't want to buy right now. She wants to buy when the market's low. Who knows when that's going to happen? So for 6 to 9 months, she'll have to find another place to go, right?"
Yeah, or if prices
If that's
continue to
If
climb.
that's the time frame, right? Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing. So I went to dinner with a friend of mine, and we were talking a lot about the landlord-tenant stuff. And she's an attorney. She has a lot of, she actually helps a lot of tenants. And so it was really interesting to hear her perspective on what she's advising tenants for, as far as the ones who can't afford rent, what she's advising them. And then, of course, I gave her the landlord's perspective of, well, here's what the landlords are going through. I don't understand why we can't have, like, if there are, right now we can't show tenant-occupied properties. If tenants are willing to show it, we create like an addendum or something that's supposed to be notarized by the tenant, so that it doesn't look like we're forcing them, right? It's at their will. We can have them notarize that document that says they're willing to show the property, and now we can get a little bit more inventory. And I think that'll help balance out the market a little bit too, and we won't have that influx that we were talking about of 294,000 people being evicted. It would be their choice. The tenants could decide, and especially if a landlord has equity in their home, and they want to sell it, right? Yeah. Why not allow them to do that if the tenant's willing to accommodate?
Right. I just don't think there are a lot of tenants that will if they know there's an option not to. Right? Yeah. And so they're going to, because it's a pain to let people in and out of your house, especially if you're not the one selling it. Yeah. And then there's the uncertainty of the tenant, am I going to be kicked out or whatever? Yeah. Not all of them realize that the new owner has to honor that lease. But do you think that when this is over and you can show tenant-occupied homes based on the fact that tenants haven't necessarily had to pay rent and there's owners that are losing, that we'll see a big influx of these owners selling the properties?
I think so.
So we'll see some inventory that way.
I guess it'll depend. So a lot of owners, I believe that if a lot of owners do it right in the beginning where we do have that shortage of inventory, if they wait a month or 2 months, it might be too late, right? Because then there will be an influx of properties. Right. But if we slow drip the market, which is what I've been proposing, is why don't we slow drip this market so that we're not seeing, our inventory numbers can go up a little bit. And I think that'll change. And I know you had a great fourth quarter last year, right? So, and you'll probably have an amazing fourth quarter this year. But for real estate agents, the fourth quarter is generally quieter than the rest of the year, but it'll change that. And then, yes, we'll have the influx in January, February. So, that's, again.
But how do you slow drip the market with individual sellers?
Yeah.
Like, you can sell, you can't sell, you can sell.
Zip code.
No. But it's so right now, if there's a tenant in a property, like it's pretty iffy. A lot of buyers won't purchase a home without being able to view it first, right? Sure. Whether it's an investment or it's most investors, especially some of the savvy ones, they don't really, all they look at is the numbers, right? They'll do the inspections. That's going to be their main thing. Are they going to want to look at the property? Yeah, we can't even get properties ready for showings right now. We can't take pictures. We can't do virtual tours. Like we can ask the tenant to take pictures. I mean, quite honestly, who wants to see a tenant like in their pajamas from the, mirror in the mirror of the bathroom?
Bad enough to see the realtor.
It's hard. Yeah, exactly.
In the mirror.
Now you've got tenants.
It is funny though. Some of the pictures, reflections.
So I think that if tenants knew, and if property managers or landlords gave them an understanding, look, I've got all this equity in the house. I'd love to pull the money out, maybe put it into something else, and then they can reinvest that money through a 1031 exchange, or that they can, put that money in or take it out and use it for whatever they want, put it in a retirement, go buy stocks. Not that that's a brilliant idea right now, but still they can go do something with it, right? Versus it just sitting. Why are you laughing at me, both of you?
I just love all the financial advice you're giving.
I'm not.
Just talking in circles. It's like, you could do this, but I wouldn't do that.
But you could. I mean, there are some people
could.
who understand the stocks. I don't. That's why I said I don't know why you do that.
I know they're down. There's
I
uncertainty.
don't get it.
There's uncertainty. I saw this on the news. There's uncertainty with the Supreme Court appointing and all kinds of other stuff. So, and the election, and they think that the election's going to be contested and that it's going to go to the Supreme Court. So it's an important time. So that's why stocks are down.
Yeah. Well
one
I don't
other
know
reason.
anything about it. I don't know what it means.
I don't really
I don't
either.
know how
I just regurgitated what I thought I heard this morning. So.
We only pay attention on Thursday mornings before we get to the show.
How many articles can I read?
10 minutes or less.
Let's be real. Some of us are reading it right here. And by some of us, I mean all of us. So we're sitting in front of us. All right. So let's talk about the Z word, because that seems to be a big Z for, or as my parents sometimes say, G is for Gibra. But Z is for Zillow. Let's talk about the Z word.
Welcome Zillow Homes.
Yeah, welcome
a brokerage
Zillow Homes.
Launched in Atlanta, Phoenix, and Tucson. So coming soon to your area.
I mean, we have got some serious, I don't know, people are freaking out, right?
Yeah.
A few in particular, more than others. And we talked about this a little bit yesterday. I mean, is there really anything to freak out about?
No, I actually think it's a good thing. Everyone kind of knew
they were going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real, okay? This was not going to be something that they were going to wait on for too much longer. It was happening.
They have a plan, and they're growing. And even in, I think their stockholder letter came out a month or so ago, and it basically said it in it. So here it is. But why it's a good thing for real estate is the fact that now it's good for Zillow and it's good for our industry. They now will get the IDX feed rather than the syndication.
So are they so they're no longer gonna pay brokers to get that information from them?
They would be, so yeah.
I mean, because right now,
sure they
let's
have
be real, they are paying some brokers to get
and
their
probably
IDX
paying some
feed, right?
brokers, probably some boards, some, who knows. But but now coming in, IDX is Internet Data Exchange, and as a broker, we basically sign an agreement with our MLS that says we agree to share our listing data with other brokers in town, and in exchange, we get to put their listings and their stuff on our website as well, which is a good thing. Now, when you look at the syndication, the broker has the ability to turn off syndication to certain portals. So it could be Realtor.com, it could be Zillow, it could be Redfin, it could be a bunch of hundreds of thousands of sites out there, really, that could be turned off. In this regard, now, if Zillow enters into our market and they get the IDX feed, if I wanted to stop sending my properties to our properties from the brokerage to Zillow.
Also belong to you, your properties.
Well, based on however the law's written, whatever. That's the disclaimer. Then what would happen there is I would no longer receive anybody's properties. So it's all in or all out, right? And so it's good for Zillow because now they're going to get the data. They're going to get what's called a RETS feed, which is all the data, and then they can determine how to put that on their site and how that looks. With certain criteria, you still have to mention the brokerage, and you have to put the IDX logo and different things like that. So there are some rules, but that levels it for us too, because now they have to also comply the same way that every other broker has to.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing.
Because they have more rules that they have to abide by, right? Is that why?
Yeah. So it levels, it puts us on the same footing.
Okay.
We're competing equally with them now on the data. right? We're not competing equally with them because of the amount of money they probably have to put behind it, and they're still going to be able to probably market their website better than most brokerages or even most boards. But at least we know what we're dealing with.
So do you think that this is their way of creating a national MLS in this country? Like, do you think that's the next big step for them?
So there was a post put out this week on that, right? In a video from a broker in this town. And, you know, anything's possible. And I think there's been a lot of people that have pushed for that. There is a lot of people that push against that because MLSs are a big revenue source for a lot of boards.
Yeah.
A lot of associations,
right? That's our main source of income.
So that would hurt. The other thing is, I see the benefits of it, but I also see the drawbacks of it too. Because if you've got one MLS, how do you control those fees? It becomes a monopoly that everybody has to subscribe to sell real estate. And so, you know, we basically have one MLS in our market, right?
Right.
But there are other MLSs in our state.
I mean, wouldn't RPR, I mean, I remember when the whole RPR discussion came about, like it felt like RPR was going to be the national MLS and it was going to deteriorate some of the local MLSs from even having to participate, right? Or having to be a source.
We can be honest with the fact that a lot of MLSs are operating from fear, right? And a lot of boards are too, because they think their only value proposition is the MLS.
Yeah.
And it's not. But the other thing is some MLSs probably need to go away.
Yeah.
Or be consolidated. You know, I don't think you need as many as you have out there all in some of the markets.
Like California has probably over 40, California alone. Then you've got Texas that's got, I want to say like almost 100 or something crazy. Like their number's pretty up there for different MLSs.
Help me understand that. So if I am an agent here in town, I have one MLS, right?
Just one.
So I'm in California. You have 40. You have to register to each of those MLS feeds in order to get listings on those?
So yes and no. So what's happening, so like in Utah, you've got 2 or 3. So that's probably, let's start with a smaller example, right? Because Utah only has like 2 or 3.
So Utah has one major one, which is the Wasatch Front Regional MLS, right?
Right.
And that's kind of northern Utah. Now, and then there's 2 down in southern Utah, which is interesting because they're just different markets. Then there's one in Park City. And so what happens is you get a lot of these spin-off ones. Even down here, you've got ours here, and then you've got one in Mesquite.
Right.
Right? And so what that is...
The Reno and then the...
Well, Reno's northern, right?
Yeah,
and
but
so that's
still
a bigger
the state,
market.
yeah.
But when you look at our MLS here, could feasibly service Mesquite.
Yeah.
The Salt Lake one could feasibly service Park City, but they do it to keep other realtors out.
Yeah, but what happens is,
They don't have it all without subscribing to their...
Right. So,
Database.
and I wanted to bring it to like a smaller scale because what will happen is that realtors will end up putting their listings in all of those, right? So they'll have to subscribe so that they can be all encompassing. So it would be helpful for them to have the one place to go to, but it's not a great tool for the local MLSs.
Right. And it's, but I think it is to try to capture market share and to keep that.
It's like
within
Pahrump
your
having their
local
own,
agents.
right? Because Pahrump right now flows through us, but Pahrump could potentially have their own MLS, right? Because they're 45 minutes out.
Well,
but
and especially now because their market's really picked
up,
you know,
right?
so now they have more and more properties that could probably sustain some sort of an MLS. But is that really the best thing for the homeowners?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the idea is to market that to as many people as possible. And by doing, the best way to do that is to market to all the realtors because we've got lots and lots of buyers and we're searching for that stuff. So if you subscribe just to an outlying MLS and that's where you put it, you're missing all the other real estate agents or realtors that could potentially have buyers for you.
So I have my license in California. I belong to the Southern California Association of Realtors. Southern California would include sort of all of the northern, like Northridge and the Valley area, but also include Murrieta, right? Which is where my license hangs. And so I have access, even though I'm in Murrieta, which is a little bit further south, it's closer to San Diego, I have access to that MLS, but I also have access. that goes maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours away from that Marietta area. Like we probably wouldn't be able to do that here, right? Like you were saying, Mesquite should be part of our MLS because they're not that far from us.
It would make sense, right?
It would make sense, but it's similar to that. Now, people in Topanga, like I'm looking at houses in Topanga right now for some clients, and they have all their listings on the Southern California Association of Realtors, but they also have their listings on other association MLSs, not just. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think California also has a lot of the MLSs cooperate in
Correct.
a way that you put it in one and it pushes into the other, so you don't have to do the data entry
Right.
on all of them. But
You have to pay the fee though. That's the big. It's an income earning thing, right?
Right.
So from a
I
national,
don't pay the fee. I don't pay the fee for the other MLSs. I just pay the fee for the one in Marietta.
so a national NMLS, that's us. A national MLS would actually provide more exposure or give a consumer probably more exposure to properties right across the
well,
country.
Yes and no. It would give them some exposure, but here's the thing. By putting it across the multiple listing service, the MLS, the idea is you're going to broadcast it to other agents that could sell your property.
Right.
And if I'm broadcasting it in a national MLS to somebody in Alaska, a realtor there, they can't sell my property. They're not licensed.
But here-
down here to
then you
sell
still
it.
have to
Yeah,
be
but here's
licensed.
the
Okay.
thing, right? I mean, if you consider what Zillow's done, a lot of clients don't look at. They're not like, oh, well, I know. I'm going to Las Vegas, so I'm going to look at the Las Vegas Realtor website. Like they don't know what
true.
that's going to be. They go to Zillow. They go to Redfin.
Yeah.
They go to
Or
Realtor.com.
they go to Google.
Right.
And they type
Yeah.
in
Las
Homes
Vegas
in
real
Las
estate.
Vegas,
Yeah.
And Zillow spends a lot of, and I'm mentioning Zillow, it's almost like Coke when you're talking about Pepsi
Yeah.
and all the soda pops. It's kind of the same thing. The third-party portals spend a lot of money to come up in those searches.
Yeah.
Plus, they have a lot of content, so they're relevant. And
Yeah.
so whether somebody's typing in Zillow or Realtor.com, they're coming up in the searches anyway.
Right.
And then it's usually a pay-per-click, and they don't need to pay for the pay-per-click, but they do.
Right.
Why do you think they do that?
Why?
To make it more expensive for everyone else. You see, it raises the price of the pay-per-click because it's a kind of a bid process.
He's not saying paper. He's saying
Pay
pay
per
per
PAY
click.
PER.
Yeah, just want to make sure that's click.
You see what I mean? So they're
I
coming
totally
up
know.
in the ads when they don't need to.
Right.
But they do that to raise that cost to force a lot of people out. So then when you pay for those clicks, pay-per-clicks,
paper.
Pay.
then your cost per lead goes up,
Well,
which
and
makes it ineffective.
When a client sends me, nothing pisses me off more when the client sends me like a link from Zillow to say, hey, what about this home? And it's been off the market for like 9 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sold like 9 months ago, right?
Is that still happening?
Not
Yeah.
as much, but I have a feeling, well, obviously now it won't, right? Because they're going to have the
Wow.
Move it.
access to
Yeah.
our IDX. They're going to know exactly what's happening, when it's happening. And those IDX feeds generally update every 2 hours maximum a day. So they'll have up-to-date information. So they will be the resource for people when they're coming into town or going out or moving out and whatnot. So-
Very well could be, yeah.
I'm a lender partner with an agent on Zillow, and the last 2 clients that I've had, they actually came through the pre-approval or wanting to get finance section. They actually believe that agent, because he was showcased on the Zillow site, was the only agent selling that specific home.
Yeah.
And that they had to call the other agent who was on another property they had seen. But when I, tried to explain it to her, like, this is actually, that's somebody else's listing that they've actually paid to be on these sites. They feel, she's like, well, that's their listing. That's Zillow.
Right.
And that's Zillow's brokerage. And that, so they already feel like the consumer, I think, already thinks that way. They don't understand that, so-and-so paid for the spend on that or whatever the case would be to be showcased on the Zillow site. So,
Right.
So that goes back to just poor marketing from associations and realtors in general, because the consumer doesn't really understand how we operate.
yeah.
And we've been around for decades,
yeah.
That's
But I think
crazy.
it's also, because Zillow has, everybody just recognizes when you want to check your value, right? How did that get established? Zillow came out after our realtors was established, right? NAR was established.
It's a 2-syllable word.
Realtors.
Correct.
Realtors.
Realtors.
I just want to make sure.
Realtors.
Per
Realtor
Pay
is 2
per view.
syllables. Yeah.
Craziness.
Yeah.
fun. Anyway,
That's it. That's all I
That's
got.
Zillow.
And that is the Z word.
Welcome
Yeah,
to
the
brokerage.
Z word.
They already had brokerages anyway. They'd bought some others. They were still operating, I believe, under the names of the brokerages that they purchased. There was one in Colorado, I think, and one in Florida. So it's not. It's big news, but it's not big news.
I haven't heard much on their mortgage company though. Is that still going on? Zillow Mortgage?
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Yep, no clue. But I remember when there was a time that Walmart was starting a real estate company.
The banks were too.
Yeah. Everybody wants to get into the game.
It's happening place.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, and so I think the discussion is, are we still going to have that, communication and the real person touch with individuals, right? And I think Zillow is changing that on their site quite a bit, or other companies as well.
Well, because their platform is going to be to hire agents, pay them a salary, so there'll be like a new construction, right, sales
Order
office
takers.
type, who then can take the buyers around or whatever the case would be.
The other thing to keep in mind is what they're saying, though, is they're creating these brokerages more or less to buy and sell their own property through Zillow offers. And so I think it will expand. I think it will expand.
Yeah.
But that's how they're spoon feeding it to us now.
Got it.
Yeah.
To make it palatable.
Then they'll be on every corner.
So let's talk about the Raiders for a minute, because they just had a couple of games.
They had a
Raiders.
really good game last weekend.
Yeah.
That was exciting.
Are we
Yeah.
Las Vegas Raider fans now? Is that what's happening?
I'm a football fan.
Yeah.
So it is neat to have professional football in town.
Finally.
Yeah, and it's hard for me in the regards that I've always disliked the Raiders, since
You're not alone.
since I was younger, because I had a friend that really liked them, and
Yeah.
it was easy to hate him. But I am a fan, football fan, and Dallas Cowboy fan first. But these guys would be my second. And when you watch them, it was exciting.
Yeah.
And that stadium's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, that was
stadium
pretty-
is gorgeous.
Yeah. Any news on getting in there at all? No?
They're doing
no.
small tours.
Really?
Yeah. You need a small tour.
Small tour of like 5 people, 6 people? Or I would love to see it.
I don't know. I mean,
Can I get on the Vondana list?
Yeah, we'd all like a tour. Real
Yes.
Estate Exposed live.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right. I'm sure they're going to love
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah. I'm actually friends with a guy that worked the construction for
Of
the
course you
stadium. Friends with.
That's how she got in there. She put her high heels
I
in
saw that.
the concrete.
But I was in there during construction. That was through something else, through another person. But there was. What?
You're like, this is real estate, Brandon.
And then I
She was
have.
touring the stadium.
Yeah.
It might
and
be
then
for sale someday.
My
lucky.
friend who works for Allegiant actually just did a tour there as well. So, and it's the Allegiant Stadium.
And they're selling. You can tailgate now. They're
Really?
selling
Okay,
Tailgating lots.
so about this, right? Did you see the pictures of the stadium and how packed it was?
Oh, I know.
Pre-game, like ridiculous. Coronavirus, what?
Well, they all had masks on, like gorilla masks.
No, they didn't.
They had scuba gear.
Costumes
Like that.
and
No, they
I
did
didn't see it
not.
actually. I was out
no.
of town.
So
It
they
was crazy.
That's just like the Golden Knights farewell, right? They're like, stay in your cars, just honk from, and everybody was out on the, parading as they left the Pavilion Center.
Yeah.
People don't,
it's people want sports.
yeah.
I
They
think
wanna
people
get
are just
normal.
tired of being home.
Correct.
Right? And
Yes.
Like I saw the pictures and I was just like, they're not 6 feet apart. They're not wearing masks. They're not.
It was pretty cool though. You saw it. I mean, there was a news broadcast and they were interviewing some people, and they drove all the way from Oakland out here for this. Yeah, and even though they can't go to the game and stuff.
Wow.
And, I know there was some heartburn when they were leaving, and I think there was some lawsuits and stuff. But I mean, one guy said on the news it was pretty cool. He's gorilla masked up, but he yelled, "We're not a city, we're a nation."
Oh.
Raider
it was pretty
Nation.
cool.
Raider Nation.
It was pretty cool. So,
Oh, that gives me chills.
yeah. You know what would have been
The
interesting?
Vegas
though?
Nation.
If the Knights would have made it past Dallas,
Yeah.
there was a hockey game that night at the same time.
Really?
So if the Knights would have been in that against
Oh.
Tampa Bay, that lined up, what do you think the reception of the Raiders would have been then?
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people watching because the Knights were out. So
Well, it's funny that we talk about this and that the Raiders are here now because, remember when the Knights started? It was right after 1 October, right?
Yeah.
And that brought sort of a sense of community back into
Yeah.
our city. And now you've got the coronavirus and the Raiders are starting up, right? And not to say that this was all staged, but
I understand.
Vegas knows how to bring their teams. Exposed.
You heard her first.
no, but
Here.
seriously, like, and we're going through the virus, and I feel like the community is getting to a point now where they're all, hey, we're a part of this Raider Nation because we haven't done sports in I don't know how long, and we don't give
that's
a
a pretty
fudge.
interesting look because I think that timing wise that does bring people together and it gives somebody to root for and pull together as a group. So that's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
didn't put that
I
together.
came up with it right now, like as we were talking.
I know because it wasn't in the show notes.
It was not in the show
Wait,
notes.
I missed the show notes again?
Oh, they never go out.
Every day, Shelly. Every
All day,
day.
every day.
All day, every day. Yeah, but that is a beautiful stadium.
Yes.
The Raiders are here. We are the Las Vegas Raiders, Vegas Golden Knights. So super excited.
I'll
We've
tell you
got
one other
sports.
cool thing about that, though, and I don't know if it's just a publicity stunt or what, but I was watching Monday Night Football when they were doing that, and they were talking about Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, and they said that he hasn't missed a game since he was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
Right, because his dad owned the team and stuff, and he wasn't at opening night. And you know
What?
why?
Why?
Because he didn't think it was right that none of the other fans could go, so he didn't go.
Aw,
I mean,
that's
how
awesome.
crazy is that?
Yeah.
You know, you're opening a brand new stadium, you moved
Yeah.
your team. I mean, this has got to be a huge deal for him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he sits out too. So, mad respect for him on that.
That is pretty cool.
I would never have faulted him if he would have went, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Was he tailgating also?
Was
Or no?
he?
Was he in the
guy
big
gorilla
RV and
suit.
the,
Yeah.
the big black
So yeah, we didn't
RV?
talk about that tailgating portion, but there's quite a bit of tailgating that's going
Well,
on, and
I got season tickets, right?
Yeah.
They
course you
look
did.
nice. You can't use them. But
Just got the tickets.
No, so they email stuff
can I have
out.
some? Just so I can have
I
some.
hold
Like,
one?
can I hold one?
The
Yeah.
package they sent out, like the consolation prize, thanks for your money, you can't go this year, was pretty cool.
It
No,
was
it
like
was
the
really cool.
stadium with
Yeah.
music and lights, right? It was like a mini
Gave you the
stadium.
whole
It was a-
feeling that you're there.
yeah. Did you get tickets too?
I did not. no.
Okay.
All right, let's see if I can
I
find
wasn't
it.
a Raiders
No.
fan until I actually did a loan for a Raiders player.
Yeah.
Yeah. That made me
Nice.
officially a Raiders fan.
Why
No
was he?
choice.
Was he great at the
He played on
mortgage
Sunday.
gameplay?
No, it was just cool to watch.
So
to
you
see.
can
Yeah.
get tailgate tickets for $400. Tickets include one vehicle with a maximum of 5 guests. Guests will have access to 2 parking spaces, so that
Or sparking
one is
places.
one is dedicated to tailgating.
Maybe sparkling.
The other one allows social distancing, so they're not going to pack the parking lot. Well, I'm going to tell you, I went to good.
We
buddy of
don't
mine-
have a big enough parking lot anyway. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah,
Continue.
it's at the Tropicana or at the Orleans.
Okay, got it. I was like,
No, but when
the
I was-
parking is not going to hold us all. But
I have a good friend, Conrad.
Yeah,
and
I know
Conrad is
Conrad.
a huge Raiders fan, right? And so when we did our radio show, remember?
yeah,
This show, but it was on a station, and they became the station for the Raiders, and they gave us tickets. And so I took Conrad out there. Maybe I didn't tell you we got tickets.
we got tickets for what?
The Raiders
Like, I
game.
don't even know what you're
Through
talking about.
the radio show station that we
Yeah.
did the
5
radio
years
show
ago. Did I not
on
tell
that I
you?
was a part of.
Yeah, I didn't tell you.
Yeah, nope.
Anyway,
don't remember getting
you
that
did too
invitation.
know.
No,
You did too know.
But continue.
Was
Go
this
ahead.
But
5 years
anyway,
ago?
oops. Anyway, I got tickets. Somebody gave them to me. Anyway, we go right, and I'm not a Raiders fan. I'm a
We're
Cowboys
getting busted
fan.
right now.
And we land right, and so we get out of the plane. We get in a cab. It takes us right to the stadium. We get out of the cab, and the guy right there, the ticket guy, says, "You don't look right," and I'm like.
Because you're wearing your Dallas Cowboys jersey?
No.
Oh.
I guess I just wasn't painted up, and I didn't look like a Raiders fan. I don't know. And so then we
No
walked-
discrimination to Raiders fans. Just
Right.
FYI.
Then we
Raider
walked
Nation.
through. We walked through the tailgating, and I swear I felt like I was in a prison yard, like the costumes and they're yelling Raiders.
Costumes?
They
Like-
dress up to the max.
Do they?
More so than the Knights and all their craziness?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's intense.
Face painting and all
And
that.
so I was a little nervous, but Conrad's just stay close to me. I got you. You know, they're roasting pigs. I mean, it's a pretty cool environment. And then
Wow.
They're
then we're-
roasting pigs.
after
It's
the
like a
game-
luau.
Seriously.
After the game, we're walking to the hotel, right? It's just right there, walking distance from the stadium. And this guy stops and goes, "You look like a cop." I'm like, I am in the wrong area. So I don't look right. I look like a cop, but that was my Raiders experience. So I'm
Interesting.
thinking this stadium's going to be a little bit more friendly to me, but we'll see.
Well, you got tickets, so you actually.
We're about to
belong.
find out.
Right?
I know my brother's been a huge Raiders fan for years.
Same.
Yeah, for years, like forever and ever, even when they were losing. Oh wait, they're still losing.
Wait, so
but they
could
didn't
we-
lose the games here. Yeah.
Could we technically then get like 10 spots and then we just all tailgate together? Is that?
Yes, you want to pay $4,000?
Oh, it's $4,000?
It's $400.
Oh, okay.
For
So-
10 people. For per
Okay,
person.
so that's a
What does that include?
You have to
two
pay for all-
parking spaces, location equipped with a large LED screen. So there'll be a screen out
That's
there to
kinda
view
cool.
it, and then you get some food and beverage
For
basically,
$400
for 5 people.
for 5 people.
And then they have a VIP ticket package at $500 for the 5 people, which gets you closer to front row seat to the.
So really, it's only $1,000. You made it sound like it was a lot
She
more.
wanted 10 spaces.
No,
So
10
times
people.
4.
She wanted 10 people.
No. So let's say 10 spaces.
Oh
right?
shit! Never
$4,000
mind.
bucks.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you get to feed them. I mean, to get.
And the experience
Yeah,
of.
but
How many people
So
is that?
those of
The
you
food is this.
you heard it here
Boomtown Charles,
first.
Four hamburgers, kettle chips with some dip, a pretzel.
I mean.
Does it have salt on it and
popcorn
jalapeno?
Sandwiches here
Popcorn.
are like.
Yeah.
Do I get a T-shirt? Do I get a finger?
No. You're better. You're better off. No. Number one fan. You're better off just saying, well, we reserve some parking spaces out in the parking lot. Feel free to come in here and watch the game, and we'll have pizza.
We'll have pizza,
Okay.
or we
No,
can get one of
the
those little
environment's
barbecues that we
Yeah.
that like are you could take with you. One of those
Can you do
portable
that?
ones.
Bring your own portables?
Like we're camping, but in a parking lot,
they
but
do-
for a game,
You
sort of
can
called a
roast pig, I
tailgate.
think, so.
You can?
They used to
Thug life. All
in
right.
Oakland.
Thug life.
Sorry. I mean, we used to do that all the time.
Wow.
All right.
Welcome, Raiders.
Yes.
All right. So, can we bring this back to real estate? How is the Raiders coming to Vegas going to change the real estate
It's
market?
not.
I don't know. Everybody thought buying down there.
I thought so too. Well, not me. I
in
didn't think
that
that, but I
area
mean, I
was
heard
gonna-
people say that. Yeah.
No, I think there's value in that land. That land in that area went up,
Yeah.
right?
You just
That-
tear shit down because there's no parking lot.
Can you
There's
just sell your
parking
lot
for
for-
Raiders? Just tear it all down and let people park and charge them for
Just
it.
parking for the stadium is you could make good money with a lot down there. I'm sure.
Right?
So that's to me that's the extent of the real estate boom is that area around the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to have a mass influx of people moving here because the Raiders are here.
Yeah.
I think you're going to have a mass influx of California people moving here because
All the
they can't afford
fires.
a house here.
Oh.
Yeah, their house burned down.
They
That's
can't
not
That
funny.
actually might have
Too
happened.
soon. Way too soon.
That's
But
funny.
yeah,
So no impact. Or
I mean, that's
slim
what
to
you're all
none.
saying.
I have a crystal ball. What are you saying?
Well, I'm saying if you buy like a house or some property there, just tear it down, put up
a parking.
lot, and there's some serious income potential there. But you'd have to go
Like
through
Airbnb?
zoning changes and all that other nonsense.
Kind of like the stock market.
Yeah,
Kinda.
kind of like
But
the
more
stock
secure.
market. Yeah. Well, I mean, the stadium's here, Raiders are here. They're our team now, right? It's official.
Well,
Are they going to go anywhere, or you think we're going to get rid of them and get? I mean, do
Can you do that?
I would
do
just
cities do that? Like, has a city
I've
actually
seen the
said, "Hey, you're
Chargers.
going to be this. You're going to be this city's team, and now you're not."
Poor
they
Brandon.
were Oakland.
Oh shit!
Oakland used to be in Oakland. Oakland used to be in L.A.
We
It
probably
also
should
was
stick to what we
Oakland
So
know.
what you're saying
Real
is
estate.
totally
San Diego
possible.
moved to L.A. St. Louis moved to. Yeah, they could leave.
So
Okay, but really, the
chances are-
stadium is going to be the stadium. We still
No
don't have
matter
enough parking. That's always going to be a problem
Well,
at the
that's-
stadium.
That's debatable. It's not a problem this
So
year.
let's say, okay, but you said it earlier. If the Golden Knights and the Raiders are playing at the same time, right? The same time, same day, same time. That's how I linked it. Is- yeah. So if they're playing at the same time, you're going to have all of the other parking lots for the casinos that have already been booked from the Golden Knights ticket holders, right? They already have parking from them. Now you're going to have the Raiders at the same day, same time.
So
Is that going to work?
I think they do a great job of shuttling people into the Knights games.
I agree. I would
and I think
agree.
it'll be the same kind of scenario
Yeah.
for the Raiders.
Except for they don't have multiple garages, right? It's just a big area. I mean, you have to get you'd have to drive, say, to Mandalay Bay and then get shuttled in.
yeah, but I think the Orleans and stuff like that.
We'll have the
some
bigger-
more outer.
Yeah. And Golden Knights did the little RTC thing. That was kind of cool. That helped to, I actually enjoyed taking those in and driving out. So
No, that was cool.
Yeah.
Those were actually cool. They had the double deckers. You pay
Yeah.
$1, go from wherever. Don't have to worry about parking. It's the walking, for goodness sake.
Well, I bet that ride home when they lose is sad.
Yeah.
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 Bunch of people
Well, it's
on the
always,
bus
we'll
crying.
get them next time, and then you go get completely shit-faced at Red Rock, and it's fine. Nobody remembers. That's pretty much how you do it,
We
right?
got them
You-
this time.
Yeah.
Good times.
Doesn't matter either way. Everybody gets drunk, depending on where you're stopping off. Because I think they're in the Southwest. It's the bar, right? Born and raised, and then over in Summerlin, it's the pickup
where
is
they
at
pick
Red
'em up?
Rock.
It's at
Yeah,
Red Rock. Yeah. In Green Valley and
yeah.
or the district.
What you said.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's that. All right. So real estate.
Exposed.
So one of the discussions I had with this attorney yesterday was how currently a lot of our ordinances, a lot of our laws, a lot of things that are being changed are taking into account. We've talked about this before. Are taking into account that. What are you looking at?
Just checking things out.
Do you need more? He needs more. Yeah, you need more champagne because you're acting weird. But a lot of these laws that are being
I'm
changed.
acting weird. I need to drink more.
A lot of these changes. Can you let me finish my train of thought? I can't think anymore. You're supposed to sideways it.
Just worry about
I
you.
can't. You're terrorizing.
We've got 10 minutes, so
Okay, so what they're doing is a lot of these.
And we haven't got to rates yet, so hurry.
a lot of these. Shit, I lost my train. Never mind. I'm just done. I don't know what's happening anymore.
75 hard.
Get this woman some
Sideways,
corn
hard
nuts.
ways.
You're not doing that.
I am.
You cheated.
I did
Let's
not
be real.
cheat. No, I just.
Oh,
no.
come on.
A freaking corn nut, and I spit it out. I did not know corn nuts
Did
were
you
fried.
chew it?
I did chew it. I rinsed
Did you
my mouth.
swallow?
It's over.
Did you swallow?
I spit them
There's
out,
the
okay?
title of the show.
All of it? All of it? You spit it all out?
The whole thing.
All of it.
Yes.
Not even a little tiny
Shame
bit.
on you.
Not
Was
sure.
swallowed.
Maybe a very small segment of
Then you cheated.
that swallowed.
She cheated. She
That I had to
cheated, and she
swallow.
didn't even finish the job. It's ridiculous.
And there's that. So
You could have enjoyed the
I
corn
think
nut.
I'm turning red. Am I red now, Beta? What's happening?
Yep, you
Oh,
match your
Beta,
pants.
Beta, he gave up too, so
He
he
Yeah.
just did it with style.
Yeah, no, I'm
Corn nut
still
there.
going strong. I'm going to count that as a did not know Shelly-ism.
So
'Cause
that
it-
means if she goes along and she makes that day up, that would be Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You're giving it up. Wow,
Yeah.
you heard it here first.
We should-
like,
or you're going to eat on
not that
Thanksgiving
good.
and then make it up the next day.
No.
or the day after.
No, it was
or
one
for the next
corn nut.
month.
It was one corn nut.
Yep. Start over.
Just the little edge of the corn nut. That's how it
It
started.
got smaller and smaller and smaller. I mean, I just smelled it. I just thought about buying corn nuts. That's it.
but did you
It
swallow?
it didn't say fried, deep fried on the package. So why would you ever think that that was?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so legitimately, let's talk about real estate
Yes.
for a hot minute. I mean, this is important too, but we could do this offline. So apartments and single-family homes are being considered as part of the same. They're looked at exactly the same when it comes to law changes, right? Same. And they're not, right? They really aren't. The tenants that are complaining from the apartment buildings versus tenants that might be complaining from single-family homes, they're not the same people. They're not the same landlords. They're not the same, but they get bundled up as the same.
So I get what you're saying. So you're just saying they're treating all
I mean, I
rentals,
said it, so-
all rentals the same.
So what would be one ordinance that you think should be separated or different?
It's not really the ordinance. It's the laws, like
she-
all
Or
of
law.
them.
She thinks that
All
you
of them.
shouldn't be able to evict people out of apartments, but you should be able to evict them out of a house.
So look, if I think that there's a big difference between that was a lot more syllables than I needed. But there's a big difference between a landlord who owns thousands of properties and a
corporation.
landlord who owns one, maybe
Wow.
two. And so, but they're being treated the same and having to take on the burden of being landlords, regardless of how many properties they have underneath them. And so the ordinance that just came about, which was the source of income ordinance, now that did have an exception in it. That was an exception built in for landlords who only own one property. But quite honestly, I mean, if I'm building a retirement and I'm doing it with income producing properties and I have 2 or 3 and that's how I'm surviving, how fair is it for me to be treated the same way as somebody who has 1,000 properties?
So what you're saying,
So what we should
I just said it.
maybe we can do something. So what you're saying is the moratorium maybe shouldn't affect those who have the smaller portfolio, moms and pops or whatever.
I feel like we need exceptions in a lot of ways for people
And you're
who
not
are
the
clearly
exception girl. Wow, that's so.
you know
you're
what?
like the hammer.
I am the hammer, and I think that I'm watching landlords that are seriously unable to pay for their own groceries or their own food or their own rent or mortgage or whatever because they're not getting any income and they can't sell it. They can't find a they can't,
that's the
That's the
catch-22.
yes.
It's like not only can you not collect rent, you also can't sell your property.
Correct.
And so that makes it tough.
I mean, you can sell it, but who's going to buy it not being able to look at it
Right.
because there's a tenant in place who isn't paying rent, and why is somebody else going to take on that
Yeah.
headache?
And then in an apartment building, if they can
I gotta
spread
drink more.
those losses out
Sure.
over more people. They're not hit as hard.
Yeah.
So that's
So
what
how do you
she's saying.
propose that? I am on the same page with you. On
I
that.
think that, and so it happened even during the last legislative session last year. A lot of the testimony that came about were from tenants that were in apartment buildings where they were literally slumlords, right? Slumlords, also known as slum landlords. That's the short
Some landlords.
slum. I'm drinking. Slum, S-L-U-M, slum
And
lords.
some landlords are slumlords.
And some landlords are slumlords. And so,
Paper.
so the testimony that came about to
Click.
create the new, late fee option was was these apartment buildings or slumlords, and how they were treating their tenants. Now that's not the norm for everybody, right? It's not the norm, especially when you've got property managers involved. It's not the norm when you have a landlord who's got 1 or 2 properties. They're paying more attention to this stuff, right? But they got roped into it, and so now single-family residence owners for rental properties can only charge up to 5% in late fees, and so that happened during the last legislative session. 5% is not a bad deal. I get it, but here's the thing. If I'm late on my mortgage and I depend on you to pay your rent so that I can pay my mortgage, and you do it on the 5th every single month, I can only charge you 5%, but my mortgage company is charging me a higher rate. They could potentially have daily fees that are associated with that. The additional thing is that I'm now required to pay that mortgage by a certain date, otherwise it shows up on my credit, and you can pay me on the 5th or the 15th or the 25th, and it would be the same late fee. How is that okay for landlords? And so this is why voting is really important. I'm looking at all of you.
Thanks for your votes.
Brandon won, but yeah, we've got other elections that are coming up,
Big elections.
and it is why it's so important to have the right people in place because it affects everybody. And I mean, again, I had this discussion with my friend is that we have, are you telling me that we're out of time?
We got 4 minutes.
I'm not-
'cause
I know,
We have
but-
to be on a call at 10:30.
Oh, son of a biscuit. So I will, but let me just finish my thought, and of
Sorry.
course, I'll forget if you continue to interrupt. So stop interrupting. And I lost my train of thought.
So anyway, elections matter.
Elections matter. Yeah, that's
Your
what I was
vote
saying.
counts.
Well, and elections actually really do matter because you need the right people in place to fight for everybody, not just one specific group of individuals. And a lot of these candidates, they pay more attention to what the tenants are saying because they live here. They're local. They're the ones that are voting for them. Some of these landlords may not even live in town, and so it doesn't matter. There's more tenants in a district than there are landlords that are going to vote for them or vote against them.
So when you're talking about voting, you're talking about for
We're talking about city, we're talking about county, we're talking about governor, we're talking about all of it.
all of
That's-
that is up for voting in November.
And quite honestly, even the judges, the eviction court judges, there are some right now that don't pay attention to the lease agreement. What's the point of it then? They're like, well, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to have the time. But the lease agreement says they have to do this. It doesn't matter. I'm the judge and I matter. What I say goes. So there's that. Can we talk about rates from the last 2 minutes? Because we have a
oh
call.
my gosh. Well, good news is rates haven't really changed. So that's amazing.
Perfect update. Thanks so
Yes.
much.
All
And
done.
with that, I'm just kidding.
Getting the call there. No, I mean, I think we talked about it last week. It was announced on Wednesday that the Fed fund rate is going to stay 0 or low.
They have a fund rate?
The fund
With a D. Fund
rate.
rate.
Per
The
click.
fund rate will stay low. For your short-term rates, those are going to stay lower. And they're going to continue to buy mortgage bonds or mortgage-backed security, so that'll help as far as the investors and keeping us capitalized. So, but rates right now are still low. Get in there and get refinanced or purchase your homes today.
Yeah, because you can
Yeah.
buy more home
You can.
at lower interest rate.
Yeah.
Perfect. Brandon,
So
sign us out.
let's wrap it up, Beta.
That's what I just said.
Cue the music.
I know, but you got to say we're available. You can find us on.
We need the music going first.
Oh, get the music. Are you ready with the music? Okay, he's got the music.
We can't hear it, but it's good. It's going. So you can watch our show on Facebook.
.com/realestatex. Sorry, go ahead.
You can find us on our YouTube channel,
Which
Real
is
Estate Exposed.
Real Estate Exposed.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and wherever you listen to your podcast. We're there.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Bye, guys.
Wow.
About